What is up, Beauty Tribe? It's your girl Nadja here, and I'm back with another video. And this video is going to be a call center story time. I know you guys love my call center series, so I decided to bust another one out for you guys. I'm not about to ramble or anything like bitch, this choker is cutting off my damn breathing airway. I'm not gonna waste any time to ramble. All that I will say is that please make sure that you guys have watched the other call center videos so that these videos make sense. It is in order for the most part, and then like towards the end, I'm kind of just like adding little stories here and there because this series is gonna come to an end soon. I'm pretty sure maybe in the next 2 videos this might be over, like being so real with y'all, because like I was only at Ratchet Corp for 3 years, and I've been telling these call center series stories for a year, going on a year and a half. So yeah. So if you like my call center series, please give this video a big thumbs up, or if you just fuck with me, give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure that you are notified so that you guys can get, you know, a notification when YouTube feels like it, giving y'all a notification every time I upload. And make sure that you're subscribed. Every time you watch a video of mine, make sure that the subscribe button is hit because YouTube be on that bullshit. So I want to say this was the right after the peak season where I got hired on permanent in loss prevention, because it was like the summertime, and that's when they handed out a lot of VTO at Ratchet Corp. A refresher for some of you guys that don't remember, VTO is voluntary time off. It is not paid time off. It's just if we don't have any workload and there's hella people in the building and Ratchet Corp is feeling like being cheap, they're gonna be like, hey, we don't feel like paying y'all. Does anybody just wanna go home, you know? And the way that they would offer VTO was so like shady. Like they would be like,
do you have kids to pick up? Do you have some errands you need to run? Take some VTO.
if I keep taking this VTO, I'm not gonna have no money to pay these bills, to feed these kids y'all want me to pick up, have no money to run these errands. Like handing out, like they were handing out VTO like crazy. But as the intermediate between peak season and the off season, so basically peak season is from August to the end of December, and then there's a little peak season in March, like a little volume in March, and then that's when they start letting people go like after March, because there's really no big events for Ratchet Corp to be supporting. At the time, at around like June, July, that's when the VTO stops coming in, okay? Like it comes in, but not really. So it's kind of just like, there'll be times where, you know, we've been given VTO, 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 but now that the workload is getting a little bit more, maybe we've been holding out on VTO for a while, now we want a VTO, but now it's more so like, first come, first serve, and there's probably only gonna be 1 VTO opportunity all day, whereas in the past, you would probably get 4 different VTO emails, because they'll email it to you and be like, hey, would you like to take VTO? And then you have to respond to it, and whoever is the first people to respond, they get the VTO. So we used to get 4 emails, now you're only getting 1 email because peak season is around the corner. I don't remember what I named this character, and I know y'all are like,
oh, you should keep a notebook to remember the characters' names.
It's really not that important. Y'all don't know these people in real life. Like, it's not that important to give them a consistent name. If you watch the videos, then you'll know who I'm talking about, like the fake character names anyway. Like, you'll be able to put certain pieces together if you're like an avid watcher of my call center series, but I just don't think it's necessary to give them a consecutive name, especially since these are like background characters. So, but for whatever reason today, the background characters are part of the main characters, so I'm gonna give them a fake name. So we're gonna call this woman Beatrice. Beatrice was a team lead for the credit card dispute team. I believe I talked about Beatrice before, how like Beatrice did not know what the fuck she was doing. Beatrice literally just took that job because it was a little pay raise, and like we all were getting trained on credit card disputes, and she was supposed to be getting trained with us, and she just really wasn't listening. Like she just did not care. I don't know if she assumed that she would just get it like that or what, but it was very fucking difficult. Like people go to college and get degrees to do what we were doing, slave labor much, you get what I'm saying? Like people actually went to college to get degrees to learn what we were doing, and we had to cram that shit into a week, and this lady had the nerve to just not listen. She was constantly like getting shit fucked up, doing shit that she wasn't supposed to do. Granted, the majority of us were too, because we didn't have proper training. And that year, I believe, well, I don't know because I don't keep tabs on the company, but that year was like the most money Ratchet Corp had ever lost, because we are such a big part of the finances. We didn't know what we were doing and we didn't have the right leadership, and it just went to shit, and we ended up losing like hundreds and thousands of dollars. So it was her. She was the team lead for that peak season, but now is rolling on to, like, you know, she did her little crash course or whatever. We fucked up. We're still trying to get work done. And like, it came to the point where we weren't even, like, people that did credit card disputes weren't even allowed to take VTO because we had to catch up all of that work. But when it came around July, we had actually gotten caught up. So that's why we were like, okay, we could finally get VTO. Beatrice was our team lead, okay? And there are different team leads within loss prevention that do different functions. So like, there was the payments team lead, and then there was the dispute team lead, and then there was the regular loss prevention agent leads. So there was this other chick, I've also gave her a name before, but I don't remember what it was. And I'm going to call her, I called the other lady Beatrice. We'll call this lady Cindy. Okay, we'll call her Cindy. So Cindy is really cool. I like Cindy. I like Cindy. She would get on my nerves sometimes, but I liked her. But her and Beatrice were like this, okay? They were like this, like this, like this. And every time season peak would happen, Cindy would get a seasonal position to be a team lead so that her and Beatrice could even be more like this. But once peak season is over, if they don't hire you on permanent, you go back to what you were doing. So Cindy was no longer a team lead. Beatrice was still a team lead though after peak, but Cindy was not a lead anymore. Now she was just a regular payments agent, right? When VTO was getting handed out, Cindy was still eligible to get that VTO when the dispute team was slammed because the payment team was caught up, because the payment team didn't have any new agents over peak. Like, they had the OGs, they held that shit down, they were Gucci. So everybody in the payment team was just VTO, VTO, VTO all summer. So it hits July, and you know, we get the VTO emails, and finally the dispute team were eligible to get VTO. We're lit, because it's just like, okay, bet. It was kind of a blessing and a curse, because like, you know, at least we can't leave work and lose bread. But you get what I'm saying? But at the same time, you want to get off. Like, it sucks just being there while nobody else is there because you have a workload because you weren't properly trained. Meanwhile, your TL Beatrice ain't doing shit. She at her desk with her fucking aromatherapy and eating some crackers. Like, it was frustrating. So it felt good that we could finally VTO. Our team lead Beatrice, she sent out an email to everybody and was like, VTO is available for shifts 6 to 2:30 and 8 to 4:30. I work 6 to 2:30. So I responded to it with the quickness, bitch. When I tell you, I had a sticky note on my desk with all of my information, because in order to respond to it and be eligible, you had to put your name, what team you were on, and what schedule you were on, and what time you wanted to be clocked out. So I had all of that on a sticky note. All of that on a sticky note. Instead of putting the time, I would just put ASAP, because some people would try to finesse the system and be like, okay, say if VTO got sent out at 12 o'clock, they wanted to get that extra 30 minutes, so they would be like, I want to clock out at 12:30, and it would get approved. You'd sit at your desk for 30 minutes and then you leave. No, ASAP, bitch. I'm trying to go home. I have been working hard all fucking summer. All summer 16. Was that summer 16? No, that was summer 17. All summer 17. I was working hard, bitch. I was like, look, I'm trying to go. So the VTO email got sent out, and I respond with the quickness, right? And I'm just like, yes, like, I'm going home. Like, I knew I was going home, bitch. I knew I was going home, and I was only gonna be missing out on 3 hours. I was like, oh, that's pie. Like, we're good. I get a response from Beatrice, and she's like,
I'm sorry, but you didn't make the cut because you're on the dispute team.
and I responded back, and I was like, but we don't got no work. Like, we're good. We don't got no more work.
Yeah, well, there's still other things that need to be done in the queue, and you know, you guys need to do that.
Meanwhile, Cindy gets her ass up and she goes home. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. The next day, we get VTO offered again with the quickness, sticky note, boom, let me go home. I don't even get a reply from Beatrice this time. This time, she just does the mass emails and lets people know who is going home. And of course, Sydney was at the top of the list. Nobody on the dispute team was on the list. And like maybe 4 to 5 other people. And I'm just like, okay. And mind you guys, Risha is on the dispute team with me at this time too. Like, she was the main like person that was helping us getting out the fucking gutter. And she was starting to peep shit too, but Risha and Sydney are best friends. So she's not trying to be petty, but she's just like, okay. Because, you know, now Sydney and Beatrice are coming up like this, and it's like Sydney's getting VTO left and right, left and right. Like, you get what I'm saying? Day 3 happens, because guys, when I tell you we was getting VTO like okay? It was only happening once a day, but we were getting it every day. So you knew if you didn't get chose, you just didn't get chosen. So the next day happens, and VTO opportunity, sticky note, boom, send. Give me my time off. This time, in this email though, before I sent it, it did say specifically dispute people are eligible. Are eligible, okay? So I'm like, bet, I'm definitely going home now. Y'all not gonna believe this shit. Y'all not gonna believe this shit. Beatrice sent Cindy home, and then Beatrice sent herself home because technically she is a dispute team lead, and that was the only VTO that was gonna be out all day, and there was another team lead in the room. So this bitch sent herself home and her homegirl. Beatrice, what do you do? Like, there would literally be times where I would go over to Beatrice's desk just so I could genuinely see, like, what the fuck do you do? Because, like, you don't move any of these disputes out the queue. Like, me and the rest of the team did that all by ourselves. You don't do reports in the morning, because I did all the reports in the morning. What do you do? Like, what do you do to the point where you're like, you know what, I deserve this time off? Like, what do you do, sis? Like, please educate me. Like, I would literally go over to her desk, ask her a dumbass question just so I could look over her shoulder and see, like, what is sis's job function? Like, what do you do? Like, what? So, you know, at that point, me and Risha, like, started talking to each other, and I was just like, look, I don't know what's going on, but that was not cool. And she was like,
yes, I agree. Like, she doesn't move any of these numbers. Sydney's had 3 days back to back to back doing BTO.
you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna say something.
You know what, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna say something because that's my best friend. I'm gonna say something.
I was like, okay, cool. So the next day happens. This is the last day of, I think it's the last, no, I had one more day of the work week. No, it was the last day of the work week because we rarely got VTO on Sundays because it was so empty already. So it was the last, it was Thursday. So VTO gets sent out again. Again, dispute team eligible. Copy and paste, take off the notes, boom, send. I know I should get it, but at this point, I'm like, I don't know, because I'm a little iffy because there's favoritism going on. Oh, sorry, y'all can see my sweatpants. No, I'm dressed nice. I'm dressed real nice. Those weren't sweatpants. Anyway, I'm like, Risha, did you talk to Cindy? Because I sent it off. I was like, Risha, did you talk to Cindy?
I talked to her, but she said it's just a coincidence because she sends her thing in fast.
And I'm looking at her like, now sis, you know I be sending it with the quickness. I be having my sticky note. What do you mean? So then, once, of course, this time though, Risha actually gets picked for the dispute team. Sydney still gets to go, right? So I was like, okay, maybe it's because, you know, they had talked to each other and Sydney went up to Beatrice and was like, look, people are getting kind of salty. Like, you need to send somebody from the dispute team home. Send my best friend home. So I'm guessing that's what happened. I wasn't salty about that because I was happy that at least Risha was getting some time off because, to be honest, she was pulling the most weight out of everybody. Like, I was doing the reports in the morning to help her because she was pulling a lot of that weight. So the next week comes along and Risha just ran me down the teeth.
Like, girl, tell me why Beatrice be telling Cindy that the email's gonna come out before it comes out so she could be ready.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so you just need all this time off? Like, for what? Like, for what? And look, I understand Sydney had a second job. I get it. She had a second job, but it's just like, sis, you made that second job work having a normal schedule already, because you would not be working 2 jobs if you could not make that work. So why are you taking all of the time off away from everybody else? Like, come on now, you being real inconsiderate. And Beatrice is picking favorites and shit. Like, that's not cool. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do them one better. So what I did was I kept up the reply email screen, okay, and I put Beatrice's email in there, and I put my little sticky note in there, and I just kept it on my second monitor. So as soon as I got a notification, I would just click send, and I knew for a fact I would be the first person, right? And mind y'all, at this time, I have been huffing and puffing. I'm not gonna lie, I have been going around that office huffing and puffing. There have been times where Cindy would get up and get VTO and I'll be like, wow, again? Like, I'm not gonna lie as if your girl wasn't being petty. So I sent the message and I was like, there is no fucking way in hell that I didn't get it. I got it, but Cindy also got it. And now at this point, there are people on the payments team getting upset because she's taken away from the payments team slot to get VTO. So it's kind of just like, okay, look, it's been a week and a half. This sis has just been getting time off. Like, what is really good? So when Cindy was packing up, somebody from the payments team was like, look, sis, like, when are you gonna let us get a chance to get VTO? Like, and she was like,
oh, well, you know, I have a second job, you know, I got kids and blah, blah, blah.
and other people was like, okay, well, sis, look, you don't get, like, every fucking day, though, every day, like, come on, every day. And mind you, Beatrice is in the corner listening and shit, and I'm just like, look, I'm glad I finally get to go home, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to get another VTO until, like, the next summer, how this shit is going on, so whatever. So I went home early that day. Now, the next time that they did the whole little VTO thing, Cindy actually did not apply for VTO, because I feel like too many people were noticing, like, okay, y'all be kikiing together, y'all be going out eating lunch together, y'all be leaving the job, getting food, and coming back together. And if y'all remember the last story time, that is against the rules, but because you're doing it with Beatrice, you're Gucci. Like, y'all doing too much. At this point, Risha and Sydney was kind of taking a break from each other because, girl, I don't know what was going on. I didn't really get asked to be all up in their business, but it was just too much. So I guess she was like, you know what, it's getting a little too hot, like, people are kind of peeping game, let me chill on the VTO. So there would just be times where she just wouldn't come into work sometimes, and, like, you know, I don't know what was going on in Cindy's personal life. That's why I did not judge her. But what did not sit right with me was, like, the blatant favoritism. And then people in the room started turning it into a racial thing because they were the only two non-POC people in the whole room, other than our supervisor and, like, one other team lead. But that one other team lead was down with the brown, okay? And the supervisor was just to himself. But people were trying to make it a racial thing. Like, it was just getting too much. So then finally, you know, Cindy was like, you know, I'ma chill on the VTO. And she probably only got VTO like once every 3 weeks or so. And then peak season rolled around and there was no VTO. But that shit really grinded my gears. And me and Beatrice bumped heads a lot. Like, a lot. But, like, towards the end of me being at Ratchet Corp, I ended up figuring out how to communicate with her and figuring out how to, I guess, tolerate, but I don't want to say tolerate because I actually did end up liking her in the end. It just took a lot. Like, you know, when you meet somebody that's a little bit too similar to you, like their mannerisms and how they go about things, it can get a little aggravating seeing yourself and other people. That's how I felt. Like, we both have very dominant personalities. We were both very sarcastic. Like, it just wasn't meshing for a while, but then finally we got cool. Me and Cindy, I always loved Cindy. I always thought she was really funny. During the end, she did rub me the wrong way. I remember I did do a story time, my first ever story time from the series, when I quit / got fired. And she did rub me the wrong way because I found out she was talking shit about me when I left. But it's been a year. Like, I'm over it. It's all Gucci. I still love her. I wish her the best. I wish everybody the best in these stories. But it was just some blatant favoritism that was going on. And it was grinding my gears. It was grinding everybody else's gears. And that was that. That's the story, guys. How would you feel if your supervisor was constantly doing well by somebody else and putting you on the back burner? Would you have felt tried? Do you think that that was a racial thing? I don't really know if it was a racial thing. Like, people in the office were like, see what happens. Those be your friends until they band up with another blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I don't really think it's that deep. I don't know. I just feel like they were both team leads over Pete. And they just had that thing going on. That's what I got from it, but some people thought it was a racial thing. I don't know. I could be ignorant. What do y'all think? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.